A very good morning to everyone. My name is Sahil Bharadwaj. So today we are here to get more detail about what is SAP Cloud Connector. We will see what is SAP basically Cloud Connector, uh, what are the installation process of the Cloud Connector, how does it work, that is how it is working, okay, with our SAP CPI system, and what are the iFlows which are related to the Cloud Connector. Okay, so we will mainly focus on the iFlow as well as we will specifically more clear what does it work, okay, how it will work. Okay, so let's begin. So it is basically what is Cloud Connector. So it is a one on-premise tool, okay, so which will help us to flow the data from the SAP CPI to the on-premise system. Okay, so it is a one on-premise tool which will help us to use the data from the SAP CPI to the on-premise system. Okay, so what it actually do? Okay, so Cloud Connector will take the actual IP address from the outside world. What it means? That is basically it is taking the actual IP address from the on-premise system by giving its virtual host and the virtual port. Okay, so basically it will take some data from the on-premise system by providing its actual IP. By providing it by providing its data, that is the virtual host and the virtual port based on the protocol. Okay, now we will see the installation process of the Cloud Connector. Basically we have to search on demand tool. Okay, after the on demand tool there is a one specific option, specific section, that is Cloud Connector. After the Cloud Connector we will see the Windows section over there, and go to the Windows section, we will directly get that particular screen. Okay, the always remember the by default username and the password will be the administrator, and the password will be managed. Okay, later on we can change the password as well. Okay, the username will be always be the administrator only. Okay, okay, so basically how does the SSC works? Okay, as we talked earlier that SSC, that is the Cloud Connector, okay, will always flows the data from the SAP CPI to the on-premise system. Okay, on the left hand side we can see that, okay, the BTP cockpit is the iFlow, okay, that is CPI, and once some security material. Okay, we will see what the security material, okay, how it plays a very crucial role in on the SAP CPI. Okay, and on the right hand side we can see that it is a on-premise system. Okay, under the on-premise system there are multiple on-premise system, that is SSC, okay, RFCs, iDocs, web services. These are the multiple number of the on-premise services. Okay, now we can see that over here. Okay, so our data is flowing from the SAP CPI to the on-premise system. Okay, where the SSC is mandatory, that is where the SSC is required. Okay, so basically whenever we are sending the data from the SAP CPI to the on-premise system, we require the SSC. Okay, whenever we are sending the data from the on-premise system to the SAP CPI, we do not require the SSC. Okay, is it clear?
Yes.
Yes, Sahil.
Okay, okay. Now, so basically, when we are sending the data from the SAP CPI to the on-premise system with the help of the Cloud Connector, okay, so basically, Cloud Connector requires some of the details of the SAP CPI, okay, as well as some of the details of the on-premise system. Okay, now we will see what details that are required by the Cloud Connector for the SAP CPI. Okay, when we are logging to the Cloud Connector, this is the first screen that is visible to us. Okay, here is the add account. Okay, under the add account we can see we have to add the detail, we have to add the region of that particular sub account. Okay, the sub account ID. Okay, the display name is not mandatory, but if it is okay, if there or not. Okay, the login ID, that is the mail ID and password, okay, that we are using by logging in the SAP system, CPI system. And location ID, it is not mandatory to write the location ID, but it is recommended to write, because when we are working on the larger scale, okay, or larger projects, okay, it is quite beneficial. Okay, so location ID, it is not mandatory, but we prescribe to write the location ID. Okay, so this is some of the detail of the tenant, right, from the CPI side. Okay, now we have established the connection, okay, of the from the SAP CPI side. Now we will see from the SSC side, that is from the on-premise system. Okay, SAP CPI we have established one connection. Okay, now we are taking some of the details from the on-premise system. Okay, when we are going to the on-premise system. Okay, then we require backend type. Okay, there are multiple number of backend types are there. We will see the live actual cloud connector system also. Okay, so this is a backend type. There are multiple number of backend type are there. ABAP systems are there, non-SAP systems are there, then non SAP gateways are there. Multiple number of backend types are there. Okay, so as we talked earlier, okay, as the cloud connector is taking the actual IP address from the on-premise system, okay, by giving its virtual host and the virtual port based on the protocol. Okay, so these are the protocol. Okay, the HTTP, based on this protocol, we are getting the virtual host and virtual port. Okay, there are multiple number of protocols. HTTP are there, HTTPS are there, RFCs are there, multiple number of protocols. Okay, so we can see that based on this protocol, okay, based on this protocol, we will get the internal host and the internal port from the on-premise system. Okay, so these are the actual internal host and the internal port. Okay, so with the help of this, we will get this, okay, the virtual host and the virtual port from the on-premise system, sorry, from the cloud connector. Okay, so this is the internal host and the internal port which is provided by the on-premise system. This is the virtual host and the virtual port which is provided by the cloud connector. Now we will focus on this virtual host and the virtual port. Okay, we will focus on this virtual host and the virtual port. After all the establishing the connection, okay, we require one URL path which is also provided by the on-premise system. Okay, we will get the URL path, okay, from the on-premise system as well. Okay, now, so these are the T codes. Okay, that is based on the on-premise system. Basically, the port number that we are getting. Okay, this port number. Okay, this port number we are getting, the internal host we are getting. Okay, this URL path we are getting with the help of these T codes. Okay, this SMICM will help us to get the port, that is HTTP, that particular we can see the port number over here. Okay, so we are able to see due to this code SICF, there is service, that is a URL path I am talking about. Okay, this is URL path. Okay, name of the web services, we can see name of the web services also with the help of the URL path. SE37, it is the function module name. Okay, it will help us to get the name of the function module. And the SOA manager, this is the actual URL of our endpoint. This one with the respect to the client ID. Okay. So after establishing both, okay, that is SAP CPI and also the BTP cockpit, also the cloud, also the on-premise system. Now we have to check whether our connection is established or not. Okay, so at the backend system, at our BTP cockpit, okay, we can see that our connection is established over here. Okay, so we can see that this is the virtual host and the virtual port. The protocol RFC. Okay, this one is different protocol. Okay, we saw this one. Okay, that is web 07 is the virtual host and 2002 is the virtual port. With respect to the protocol HTTP, the connection is available. Okay, so it is not mandatory that every time we will have the access of the BTP cockpit or we will have the access of the integration suite. Okay, so it might be, it is possibility that only we have the connection of the BTP cockpit or only we have the connection of the integration suite. Okay, so if we are having the connection of only the BTP cockpit, then we can see that our connection is totally established over here. Okay, the host name is working properly. Okay, the protocols are perfect and the resources are now available. Now we can send the data from the SAP CPI to the on-premise system. Okay, so this is the iFlow. Okay, basically we are sending the data. Okay, this is the address which we are getting. You can see that this is a web 07. This is nothing but it is the virtual host and the virtual port. Okay, this is the virtual host and the virtual port. Okay, this is the URL path which we are getting from the on-premise system with respect to the client, SAP client ID. Okay, so this client ID is provided by the on-premise system. Okay, so this is provided by the on-premise system, so there is no need we have to write our manual. Okay, so it is provided by the uh, on-premise system only. Okay, for the RFC, okay, there is for the for when we are sending the data from the SAP CPI to the RFC, okay, there is no need of the need of the T codes. Okay, they are just focusing on this destination. Okay, only this destination name. Okay, nothing. Okay, nothing. In RFC, in SOAP, we can see that we want the address, we want the URL. Okay, but in RFC, we just want the destination name. Okay, so for the destination, the same process we have to follow for also connecting the RFC. Okay, same backend system. Okay, instead of protocol HTTP, we will just select the protocol RFC. Okay, then same, it will also give the internal host and the internal port. We will use the virtual host and the virtual port. Okay, virtual host and the virtual port. This is the virtual host and the virtual port. Protocol is RFC. Now the system is available. Okay, so when we are sending the data from the SAP CPI to the RFC, we require the destination name. Now we can see that we have to just go to the BTP cockpit. Under the BTP cockpit, there is a one destination option. Okay, under the destination option, we have to create one destination. Okay, so name of the destination, we can see that. Okay, this is nothing but it is the virtual name. Okay, this is the virtual name. This is the virtual name that is provided by the cloud connector instead of the internal host and the internal port. Okay, type RFC. Okay, as it is the on-premise system, proxy type on-premise system, we are sending the data to the on-premise system. Okay, it is the username and the password. This username and password is nothing but it is the user ID and password of the on-premise system. Okay, so basically we are sending the data to the on-premise system, so we require the username and the password of the on-premise system. This is where the location ID takes plays a crucial role. Okay, so location ID Gujarat, I have placed to Gujarat, so I have written Gujarat. Okay, so under the additional properties, okay, as a host, the name of the virtual host, the port, it is the client ID, okay, which is provided by the on-premise system. It is the virtual port number, okay, which we have given here. Okay,